popping on to show you this cute little album card, booklet, whatever you'd like to call it. I was given this by my team at the end of an event as a thank you card. And it was a great way of having a whole bunch of people sign a card and having room for everyone. This is based on a little book / photo album that was shown to us at On Stage by our CEO, Sarah Douglas. And one of my team members, Cheryl or Shez, created this for me. We recently had a team play day and we recreated it as a make and take using some different designer series paper. So I thought I'd show you how it comes together. The one that we made was actually a butterfly themed one using the beautiful Bokeh paper that is in the mini catalogue, the one with these Bokeh dots on it on one side, and then on the other side is sort of a paint splatter. So I'll show you what you need. You're going to need a cover. So I've done this out, maybe I should have done it a bit bigger, onto basic white just to show you. This is 16.4 centimeters wide, 15.2 centimeters high, and 15.2 centimeters is 6 inches. So that's the size of our the size that our paper comes in. And then we're going to score it 8 centimeters in from each side. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So here's a piece I've cut, 16.4 wide, 15.2 high. So I'm going to slide it into my trimmer at the 8 centimeter mark. Make sure I've got my scoring blade. Oops, it's not in properly. There we go. Run that down, and then I'm going to flip this round to 8 centimeters again and score again. And what you're left with is a little spine. We then want to grab our bone folder and we're going to score along both those lines. Now, depending on how confident you are, you could glue the outside designer series paper on at this stage, or you could glue it on once you've put the pages in. I'm going to I'm going to show you. We're going to glue it now. I'm going to find a piece of paper, but I've used a lot of them. How's that one? Yeah, that's got a bit of purple in it. So you can see here the height of the book matches your 6 inches. Then the width of the book is a bit longer. All right, so you're going to have a bit of a border there. With all of this gluing, I highly recommend you use a liquid glue because it allows you what we call wiggle room, so you can slide things into place. Whereas if you used a glue runner, you would be sticking it down and possibly sticking it crooked without the opportunity to fix it. Okay, run my bone folder over that. Now it does end up, I don't know if you can see that, I've actually cut this cardboard a little bit small, a little bit short, but that's okay. I'm just going to trim it off with my scissors, which I can do. That's good actually, because the glue is just taking a little bit of time to dry. Now, as you use your liquid glue, you also want to make sure that you don't over glue. Don't add too much, because it'll squelch out the sides. I'll show you that as we do the pages. So there you have it. If I put that back, 16.4 wide, 15.2 high, and then your spine is down the middle there, 8 centimeters in. Now, because we've got the transition from the designer series paper to the cardstock, we're just going to add a little bit of foil there. This is just 1/2 centimeter wide. And I cut it a little bit longer than it needs to be. And the main reason I do that is so that it's not shorter than it needs to be. Easy to cut it off to size, but impossible to add on to it. A little bit of glue, turn that over, and you can either butt that up against that edge as a way of getting it straight, or you can overlap like so. Trim that off, and so that's matched there perfectly. I'll put that aside to dry. And then I'm going to bring in my pages. So the designer series paper, beautiful Bokeh, has repeated patterns. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different designs repeated by 8. So there's 8 of each. All right. So what I've done is I've taken out 1 of each. These are still the 6 inches or 15.2 centimeters wide. So that's what the designer series paper comes as its size. That was awkward. This is trimmed down to 14.7. So I've taken off, if you look at a full size piece, just trimmed off 5 centimeters off the top. Okay, all the way along each page. Now, 5 centimeters off the top, so this means this is the spine. Okay, not this, this. So across the 15.2 centimeter mark, where you've chopped the pieces off, that's where you're going to fold it. All right, you could do this with your trimmer blade, but it is more precise, I think, to just use your bone folder, because you know you're going to get them exactly the same. Now, as you fold, so that's sitting there, I'm going to fold it down here. You can either put your Bokeh on the inside or the outside. So you might want your paint splatters on the inside, which I think that's what I'll do. So for each of them, line them up, get your corners to match, pull your bone folder across, I'm going to turn those that way so that they're correct. So splatters on the inside. Now I've confused myself. That's it. So across your pages is your 6 inches. Just check as you go that your corners are lined up. And last one. Now, what you're going to do now is you're going to put these together. Let's just check I've got them all the right way. So they're all the same size. This is the 6 inches across here, okay? Okay, so bring in your glue, and I'm going to start on the one side of my pages, and they're just going to glue to one another. Don't get too cheeky with your glue towards the edges. You don't want it oozing over. And then this is why it's good to have liquid glue. So I can line those up and then tap them on the tablecloth, tabletop to make sure they're even. So you can see where those are glued together, that's matching up perfectly. Okay, so then I continue on. I opened up a new glue, especially for this video, just so that I didn't have any hanky-panky. Again, bring that up and stack them like a newsreader stacks their notes. Check that all your corners are working. And the other thing you can do too is just open it up and give it a rub just to spread that glue, because you want the glue going pretty close to the edge, but not oozing out of the edge. Two more. And you can see there, if you have trouble with your Tombow glue, I don't know if you can see, you may actually see better when I do the berry burst one. This is very, very light. So I'm only squeezing it now and then to get the glue flowing. But a lot of the times it's spreading what's already there, and then just a bit is coming off the tip. Here's berry burst. This paper coordinates with, I think it's 6 different colours, or maybe 5. Daffodil Delight, berry burst, balmy blue, calypso coral, and fresh freesia. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5. I got it right. Okay, last one here. So just take note of that. Just see the glue there. So this could be used in a workplace if you've got multiple people needing to sign a card for a birthday, a farewell. It could be used as a birthday card from one person, but including quotes and pictures, anecdotes, etc. You can mix and match what you put inside. Okay, so there we have our album, and the pages all stuck together, ready. There was a little bit of grippy there, and you can see how it's all come together at the back there, the lineup of the folds. Let's bring our cover back in. Now, if you recall, the cover was scored down the middle there, so we have to reclaim those score lines that have been covered with the paper and the glue. So just find them again and make sure that you've got this lined up at the top and bottom, and repress those folds. Like so. So that you're forming the shape there. Okay, you can see down there into the spine. Now this is going to be my front, and so the book is going to go in there. Remember, we cut a little bit off the top here, 1/2 centimetre. And the reason we did that is to give ourselves a border, top and bottom. So if I just sit that flat, you can see that there's cardstock of the cover showing all the way around with a 2.5 centimetre border it ends up being. That gives it a good look. Okay, if you've got a preference as to what page colour you want happening first, you can decide that, but I'm just going to put this in as is. And what I want to do is add my glue to the back here. Same sort of concept, spreading it thinly and getting it close to the edge, but not too close. And then turning it over, I want to then make sure that this is going to butt up against my spine here. So I can do that first before pressing anything down, and I can check to see that it is roughly 2.5 centimetres up top and up bottom, down bottom, up top and down the bottom. And then I'm just going to lay that down and also just bring that spine around it just to make sure it's tucking into place up against the spine. And you can see I've got my border happening all the way around, like so. Then we're going to do the same thing here. And you really do want to make sure it is tucked up against that spine, because if it's not going to open properly. It'll be like people who buy a book and never want to crack the spine and read it at tiny, tiny angle. That's what my brother used to do from memory. Okay, same thing. I'm going to just bring that round while my glue is wet. Just make sure all of this is straight, 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 all coming together. And let it glue into paste. So I've not actually put any glue down the spine. I don't find that's necessary. And you can see there, little book. Just want to leave that a little bit longer. And now I can open. So you can see, because I've got it nicely lined up to the spine, I can open all those pages. No problem. Like so. Now it's up to you to decorate that how you want, and I will show you a few samples. We had already cut for everyone some butterflies for decorating. We'd cut the gold strip and we'd cut some butterflies. So these are the two I made at home. So you can see I've used the big butterfly. With this one, I folded the big butterfly in half and added a small butterfly. My reason for doing that was actually because there was a big glue splodge there. And then we added the itty bitty Bokeh mix, and that's added just with dots of glue. Okay, so that one's just blank inside, as is this one. But this was the sample for the day, so decorated in a similar fashion. But what we did is we had some blending brushes out in the 5 colours. So everyone got one of the 5 colours for their cover. So some people had a Daffodil Delight cover, for example. And then they were given a few pages and they could add this is blending brush over a cutout butterfly. There's another page where we've added the large butterfly and blended over it and popped a small butterfly there. That one's blank for photos or whatever. There's a butterfly stuck in, and so on. Then I'll show you another example. This is one I made when I was first experimenting with the sizes. So I have a little guinea pig called Hamilton, Hammy for short, and I used some old Designer Series paper. Same idea, but what I've done is created a little photo album. That's his picture of when he was a baby. That's his baby picture. And then his hobbies. I was just having fun with it. There he is in front of a catalogue helping me advertise. Hammy lives on acreage. That's our front yard, which isn't acreage, but it's big for him. His friends. And that's him in my son's car, not that they drove anywhere. And at the back I just wrote copyright 2025 Hammy's Publishing House. So there you go. If you've got 6x6 lying around begging to be used, this is an idea that you could put into practice to create a card or an album. I hope that's helpful. And if you liked it, please leave me a comment or give me a thumbs up. I'd appreciate any feedback. Thanks very much. Bye.